Thursday edition episode of CEP TV's Late Night Hype. We have an amazing guest coming on tonight, but before we get into all of that, we have a lot to go over, just like we do on the podcast. So if you are familiar with CEP TV Late Night Hype, you know that we normally do it on Tuesday nights at 11:59, but now we have added Thursday, and as you can see, we are in our beautiful location in Atlanta, Georgia, or in the outskirts of Atlanta, Georgia, and we are just loving it, and we look forward to having a lot of you who are in our viewership on here. So thank you so much and welcome tonight. If you are familiar with CEP TV, you know that you can always go to www.mycep.tv, and there you will find our catalog, as we are a streaming African American owned streaming network, and there you can find beautifully curated original digital content by African Americans and other children of the diaspora. So make sure that you check it out. You can have all access to the whole catalog, with exception to some different bundles and packages on there for $1.99 a month. So if you would like to support the platform, that is the way to do that. CEP TV stands for Creatives, Entrepreneurs, and Entertainers at Play TV. And so our notion is, our theory is that if you really love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And so that's what we want to do. We want to get you on here. We want to get you highlighted. We want to know what you're up to. We want to talk to those who are on the journey. We want to talk to those who have made it, and we want to talk to those who are on their way. So it is definitely a privilege to be on here today, and definitely want to jump right into our sponsors that we have tonight. And that would be, the first sponsor is urbaninsight.com, and that is by the one and only Lyles Media of Greater Atlanta. So be sure to head on over to www.urbaninsight.com, and you can also go to urbanradio.com, where you can find some awesome stations. I think it's about 12 stations on there. You're going to get some of the best music that you can find in the urban contemporary categories, and so much more. So make sure you patronize our wonderful sponsor. The second sponsor that we want to bring to your attention is going to be the Doxagene. And I am a definite wearer of the Doxa, and as you can see, I have beautiful results. So please make sure you get on over to www.thedoxagene.com if you want to break free from chemicals, oils, and serums and all that good stuff. Be sure to check that out as well. Next up, we have Vibes International. Vibes International is a partner sponsorship, and if you are interested in tech, if you like earbuds, headphones, and things of that nature, I implore you to head on over to the Vibes International website, and you can get a 30% off discount for CEP TV fans if you enter CEP TV at checkout. That's going to give you 30% off. This is an African American owned tech company, and there's earbuds, there's headphones, and there's even talk of some waterproof, 100% waterproof headphones that will be coming out very soon. So again, you can head on over to internationalvibes.com. That's internationalvibez.com. So be sure to check that out. And of course, last but not least, we have One Rock Vodka, and that is one of our awesome partners, and they are doing great things. And from what I hear, for those of you who are not familiar with that brand, it's definitely going to be coming to a store near you very soon. And I hear that that brand will leave you with zero hangover. So make sure you check that out. That is onerockvodka.com. onerockvodka.com. I'm sorry, well, not .com, but that's One Rock Vodka. So you take a look at that and look it up on the website. Again, it's coming to a store near you. You know, I got my girl, 10 Keezy, as Dave Tolliver would say, hanging with me up here in the studio. And I definitely want to introduce her because we will be doing a lot together. 2020 is the level up, okay?
Yes.
So why don't you introduce yourself and talk about some of the things that we got going on, got coming up.
Ooh, I mean, of course, I'm 10 Carat, artist. I don't really like to just y'all make sure that y'all follow me on social media and wherever else. 10 Carat, TENKART, 10KRT. Just follow the drill. But I don't like getting all the academic stuff. But yeah, I mean, we do have a lot of things coming up with us with CEPTV. I can't really. Trying to. Something that's coming up really soon.
Well, let's talk about Nope or Dope. We definitely want to introduce Nope or Dope. That is a feature of CEPTV. You so graciously have brought that into the CEPTV fold. We are so excited about all the great things that are happening with Nope or Dope. So let's talk about that. What do you do with Nope or Dope? What's going on with that?
Nope or Dope is a music retrospect. And what I do is artists submit their music to me, and I play it for free. Just to kind of get their music out there, because now, thank goodness, my Nope or Dope is now being watched and monitored by different music and industry execs, and I think it's going to be able to provide an opportunity for artists on just a whole nother level. So I'm really looking forward to. What Nope or Dope is gonna continue to do or whatever is growing in numbers. And artists submit their music. I play it for free. But with my Nope or Dope, I am doing it, my music retrospect, doing it something a little different than a lot of people do with their, quote unquote music reviews. So I'm taking it to a whole nother level and just making sure that I'm providing a service to the artist and way to be beneficial not only for myself but for artists, and it all makes sense.
Gotcha. Well, we are excited about that. We've been tuning in. It's been about a month, and you have gotten so much traction so far. You got something going on with Urban Insight, Music Insight. A lot of things coming with that. So there's going to be a lot of, like you said, a lot of exposure going to be able to be garnered through Nope or Dope. So that's going to be a great segue for a lot of great things to come. So we are excited.
And then, with my Nope or Dope platform, I mean, I do something a little different. The artist can have have an artist spotlight. They can be a featured artist. There's even opportunity for business to have a business spotlight, as well as we can even do a listening party on my Nope or Dope show. So those are some of the things that I am twisting it around with the Nope or Dope music retrospect, just to put my own little twist with it and my signature. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, I mean, we can't ask for more.
So, we have been hanging out a lot lately, and we're just going to be talking about some past events real quick of some things that we've been doing.
You're going to tell the good stuff, right?
Of course, all the good stuff. Yeah, but it's been awesome. Streets to the Stage. Let's talk about that. You are actually one of the hosts for that event.
Yes. We started last year. And I started off as a host from time to time, but last year, towards the end of last year, I was made the permanent host from the Street to the Stage. So anytime that event goes on, you will see, me doing my thing, and I turn into another person on stage. But loving From the Streets to the Stage, Quentin Miles of My Life Entertainment is doing an amazing job with that platform. And I think it's just really dope on the opportunities that, for an artist. I mean, of course, and you be around, with CEPTV as well. So, I mean, how it goes down from the streets to the stage.
Absolutely. And so we also got a chance to link up with some awesome people, namely Dave Tolliver, Maurice, Tony Terry, Brian, and Audrey from the Creators Conference. And we have been going to the Who's Got That Vibe.
And Who's Got That Vibe is really dope.
Yeah.
I mean, amazing talent that comes through there. And I mean, I love to go and sit there and watch the talent and, do talent and do, watch them do what they do. And what's his name that be in there? Like, literally, like,
Dominic?
Dominique. I mean, Dominique, he gets in there and, really shows what his artist development company is about, like within minutes. Like,
yes.
So that's really dope how he can take a performance that's one way and really switch it up and do what he do. So I mean, just being able to kind of look, observe, and I'm soaking everything in when I'm around, just soaking everything in. So yeah, from the street, Who's Got That Vibe is a really dope event.
Absolutely. So, we just have, it's one thing, we have to be realistic of what's going on right now with, I hate saying it, but the coronavirus or whatnot. So there's a lot of things that have kind of dominoed in the not so great way, but at the same time, it's allowing us to build up in another way. So I heard you had a couple of events canceled, but in lieu, so what are you doing to kind of circumnavigate around that?
Well, I mean, with all of that going on because of those events, I mean, it's giving me actually more time because I've been put in certain situations lately. Like, even when one door closes or those doors closed, other doors are opening, and it's been a blessing. But I'm using that time to, get the website done, get certain things in gear once we're able to go back to do what we do. What we're able to do, what we're doing, and everything, and just making sure that just creatively trying to come up with other things, and like even possibly doing things virtually.
Gotcha.
So I mean, like I tell everyone, a lot of people wondering, what am I doing, because of the coronavirus thing and with, the events being canceled. So, like, those are some of the things that I'm doing, trying to create other avenues to be able to just keep moving forward, because I'm going to be smart about the situation, but not going to let the coronavirus. So I'm just literally thinking more on the level up of virtually doing certain things for, artists and, like we talked about, businesses. I mean, people plays, concerts, whatever it is, we can, CPTV can come and, stream it. I mean, we won't be around a bunch of people. So, I mean, that's kind of putting us in a situation to be okay with everything.
Right. Absolutely. So, I mean, we're just kind of in that season where we just kind of have to roll with it and figure it out as we go. But this is creating some really awesome opportunities at the same token, because now, we're in a realm where live streaming is actually becoming more of a demand. So,
Absolutely.
We're going to make the best of what all that will bring as well.
Right. So, I mean, I guess that, I don't know. I'm just ready. I mean, I just know that we're not gonna let the coronavirus, the whatever, just stop everything. So just really putting our thinking caps on and being more creative and digging into really what it is that we really want to do. So I'm just really looking forward to. As a matter of fact, everyone needs to look forward to, just the shift that whatever. Because as a matter of fact, even with the artist boot, I'm gonna do an artist development boot camp too. So that's something else that I'm trying to, the curriculum is getting put together now, so we'll be able to just keep moving forward with everything, and me and you right along with CEPTV. We're just gonna make sure that we're there and available for anyone that if somebody canceled out on you or whatever, like CEPTV is available.
Absolutely.
Like, we're available.
That is absolutely right. We don't know how long this situation is going to last as far as like the cancellations, but as we know, as of right now, we still have an April edition of Streets to the Stage coming.
Oh, absolutely.
And we still have a May edition of the Streets to the Stage
Absolutely.
coming.
Matter of fact, it's
April the
slots.
2nd?
No, slots for May. I think it's about 4 to 6 slots left for May.
Okay.
So, yes, it is. I mean, yeah, Streets to the Stage has not been canceled as of yet. Thank you, Jesus.
Right. And then we also have the Tri-Cities Award.
Absolutely, yeah. in June.
Yes.
I'm excited about that. Are you? I'm excited about the Tri-City Hip Hop Awards. I'm excited about that.
I'm really excited about it. This is the first time that I've been able to be privileged enough to be a part of an event like on this scale, on this magnitude, as far as seeing that Quentin is literally trying to get the whole city to come together.
Absolutely.
Radio stations that have never really, worked with each other before. He's really making an effort to tie the community in together. And that's really important, especially now. We are, we have this thing going where the social distancing is being, said, but we really,
whatever that word means, I have to say that, like,
yeah. I don't really want to go into it because it's a little, what is it, politically correctness thing. So I don't want to go down that route. But yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. But I'm just excited about everything that we have coming up, and I hope that you all who are tuning in are excited with us, because we are coming. So CEP TV is definitely coming. We do have some new shows coming up on CEP TV, and please be sure to tune into them. We are going to also be doing a release show that will kind of highlight and showcase some of the new releases that are coming. And most of you all know that most of the people that have content on the website on CEP TV have and or will be on the show to talk more in depth about their career, their journey, and what they have going on as far as their creativity or whatever they have going on. And so that's what CEP TV Talk is all about, this version of the live show. So the first one that we have is The Prodigal Wife. This is going to be a really great show for the Passover/Easter season. So be sure to tune into that. Again, this is on our free views, so you don't have to do the $1.99 if you don't want to. However, that would be great if you would support the platform. $1.99 a month.
Absolutely, you can't beat that though.
Exactly. $1.99. That's like the cost of a soda. Okay.
That's less than the cost of a soda.
Exactly. Exactly.
So like, that's dope.
Yes, so please be sure to tune into that show. And then we have Ocean to Plate. Ocean to Plate is by Colin White, and he is a young chef entrepreneur that actually goes deep sea diving, and he goes diving and he cooks the meal after he goes and gets it. And there's a whole experience because he travels to exotic islands and he does this for private events. Yeah, so please be sure to check out Ocean to Plate.
So we know he's gonna survive when.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So it's kind of like, yeah, I guess it would be some survivor skills type stuff. Yeah. And then Beaten to the Punch, if you saw was it last week's show? No, the week before last. The last week's show was Verlenzo, who was also on here. Who's Afraid by Verlenzo Hawk of the Curb Squad. And then Beaten to the Punch, Charles Quinney, who was on here the week before last, and both of those were really great shows. But we're gonna bring Verlenzo back actually here in the studio for a redo because we did audio only and it didn't get that broad of a reach. So we want to make sure we get Verlenzo back and get him the proper exposure here on CEP TV. So that's what we're gonna do. So please be sure to check out those titles. There are gonna be so many more to come. And if you are interested in getting your title streamed on CEP TV, remember, we are a distribution partnership. Now, there are ways that you can monetize if you would like to. You can have your own monetized catalog, but we are a partnership, so you put your content on CEP TV, and we are here to help you get distribution. Okay, so that's what that's all about. So if you're interested, please email us at ceptv2019@gmail.com, or you can go to www.mycep.tv and you look, if you're on a desktop, look on the upper right hand corner and it will say submit content, and it will and it will take you to a form, and that form will take you through the steps to get your information processed, and we'll review it and get you uploaded. Someone will definitely be in contact. So please do that if you are if you're ready, if you have some content, we are here for you. So in just a few short seconds, we are going to transition. We have an amazing guest that is coming on in just a few minutes. We have Maurice Leggett who will be joining us, and he is a former NFL player and a serial entrepreneur. So if you give us just a few moments, we will be back with the second half of the show. And thank you all so much for that brief break. We are back for the second half of CEP TV Thursday version of the Late Night Hype. And joining me is my awesomely wonderful guest, Mr. Maurice Leggett.
What's going on?
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. You have a very decorated and interesting career and lots of transitions going on. But for those of the viewing audience who don't know who you are, give them a little background information about yourself.
Oh, where am I starting?
Okay. Okay, so we just want to know who you are. Who are you?
I'm Maurice Leggett, the father.
Okay.
I just so happen to play professional sports. Started in the NFL, went to Arena, then went up to the Canadian Football League, and then went back to Arena. You know, won championship there, won 2 at Valdosta State in college. You know, this mass entrepreneur, I can't work for other people. It just doesn't. It's not me. That 9 to 5 is not working. So
I'm telling you, it's a beast.
and you know, I'm a firm believer of, you know, the guy signing your paychecks is the slave master, and I'm not into that. So I want to be that guy writing the checks, and if you don't own the table, you must be on the menu.
Hey, that's about right. So we have football, but you also have a little bit of music in your early influence as well. So I do want to talk about like your early influences and what led you to football, and then we'll kind of double back on that a little bit later about your music influence as well. So how did you get into football?
Got into football as a kid. I started at 4 years old.
Oh.
And where I'm from in McKeesport, Pennsylvania, it's a town in Pittsburgh. Like, that was it, either baseball or
you're
football.
a Yankee. I didn't know that. Okay.
So that is how it goes. I lost a couple teeth growing up. I never played like organized football. We always just in the projects. We just played right there on the playground, you know, where they had the wood chips. Like, we didn't even have an actual field. We had swings and everything. I got hit so hard, I hit the pole of the swings one time. And then that was like one of my defining moments, saying I don't want to play offense.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to get hit. Yeah, but I just continued doing that. And in my family, you know, it's a pretty rough family.
Okay.
Either a jokester or you're, you know, one of the rough ones. So I try to do both.
Okay. You found that balance.
Yeah.
So what were your career highlights and lowlights?
I'm gonna start with my lowlights. It's still like I don't remember all my highlights, but the lowlights, those are the ones an athlete always remembers. It's those lowlights. And the thing is, you're gonna have them if you play the game long enough. You're gonna have them, and you just can't have too many of them. So I'm fortunate enough not to have a lot on my belt. I only have 2 lowlights on under my belt actually, and one was in the NFL, and one was in the CFL, which that ended my career up there.
Because you had an injury, right?
It wasn't because of the injury. It was a lot of different things. Me and I would say just certain people within staff, we weren't seeing eye to eye, and you needed that one excuse to get rid of me. Mm-hmm. And once that happened, like I'm a professional about it. I didn't go publicly and then rant and rave about it or anything like that. Didn't even ask for a trade or anything like that. Tried to, try my best to help my teammates out. And we came to a mutual agreement that it was best to move on. It was a game against Calgary where, he had one hell of a day. And he actually broke the team record. Mm-hmm. And most of it was on me. I was like, man. But he was one of the top receivers that year.
Oh, wow.
And I was one of the top guys in there. I'm still recovering from injury. Trying to prove myself back. There's just a lot of different things that happened. And he didn't score. That's the crazy part. Mm-hmm. I don't have many touchdowns, under my belt throughout my entire career of 13 years. Probably less than on one hand.
Oh, wow.
So he had a good day on it. He didn't score on me or anything like that, but that's what ended that. And then in the NFL was, a guy named Miles Austin for the Dallas Cowboys. Mm-hmm. It was him, T.O. on there and stuff like that. Miles Austin had a record-breaking day too. Those yards, I would say he only had 2 catches on me,
Okay.
and both of them were for touchdowns. One to tie the game, and then one in overtime and beat me. Now just an off day for me,
Okay.
and that was it. So those are the two. Those are my lowlights.
Low
But
lights.
the rest of my career were nothing but highlights.
Well, that's good. 'Cause, I mean, making it to the NFL in itself is a highlight, right?
Yeah, and the major highlight for me was my mother's first game in Canada.
Okay.
That probably was the biggest highlight of it, just because she got to experience it firsthand. She's always seen me on TV making these plays and stuff like that, but I actually broke the punt return record for Winnipeg.
Okay.
And I was the first player in 30 years to actually have a defensive touchdown and a special teams touchdown. It was actually a punt return for a touchdown.
In how many years?
Past 30 plus years.
Wow.
And my son was on the sideline. I was
Wow.
gassed after the first touchdown, and I was like, man, I don't know about this. Like, you have those doubts, and it's like, man, it's tough. And then my son at halftime, he's running into the tunnel going into halftime. He's swinging his towel like, let's go. And so I was like, all right, it's time to pick it up now. Because when I get home, if my son will talk a lot of trash to me. Like, that's one thing he would do. He loved to talk trash. So, that's just in my family nature. So once that happens, I can't let that happen.
People from the north, like you say, you're from Pennsylvania, right?
Right.
So I noticed that people from the north, I'm from Ohio, our families tend to play the dozens a lot. Like, that's just what we do. And I know not a lot of people do that down here a whole lot. And I don't know, that's just a perspective thing. But I noticed people from up north, we kind of have like this wisecracking thing going on. Or am I just being?
The thing I describe my family like, you got your A-list actors and your B-list actors.
Mm-hmm.
You got your A-list comedians and all that stuff. The Wayans family is the A-list comedian family, right? I say we're the Z-list family, but every time we are around each other, we're cracking jokes, no matter even if it's in a serious point in time, like. Last year, my great grandmother had passed away, and the toughest times and stuff like that. And I had to give a speech on my generation, on my generation's behalf. And like, even though it was a serious time, still cracked jokes within my speech, even during the lead up. I was blessed enough to actually talk to her and have a conversation with her, in our last days.
Mm-hmm.
And she just told me, like, don't cry. It was tough. When she saw me cry, she said, don't cry, don't worry about it. I lived a good life.
Right.
It doesn't matter how old you are. As long as you live your life, you've lived it. When it's your time, it's your time. And she's one of those people, like, I always have fun no matter what happens.
Okay, so
and
that's
she's
where
she's been through a lot, and I know a lot of stuff is going on right now and stuff like that, and I know, like, I can feel her just talking to me, even though this is going on. Don't worry about it, because things always work out in the end. Okay. And if you're mentally strong about it, you are one of the ones that survive. And on those last dying days, she knew I was getting ready to get married.
Mm-hmm.
Yet she's still trying to, like, she was trying to pimp me out to her nurses and stuff like that. It was fun and stuff like that. But it was just, she was like, yeah, he'll take good care of you and all that stuff. And I'm just looking at her. So, yeah, like, that's just how my family is.
Okay. And I think having a good sense of humor will kind of extend your life a little bit. That definitely helps a lot.
It takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile.
That is true. That is true. So let's roll back just a little bit. So when you were in high school, I've seen in one of your bios that you also expressed a love and a talent for music. When did you get to your crossroad and say, okay, so I want to do football right now versus music?
Football has always been my love. I grew up, I got this white rock and gave it to my grandmother and told her this is what I would do if I said, I'm gonna start your house with this rock. I'm gonna build you a house once I go to the NFL. She still has this rock, wrote the date on it and everything. So it was like it was always like that. So when people wanted to go to house parties, I never went to a house party in high school. Never.
Wow.
As soon as I graduated, that was the only time. And I didn't even stay long. I didn't stay out for prom or anything. My mom forced me to the prom. But I kind of needed an elective in high school, but I love music. People are like, why are you doing that? Well, I can't do the band because I'm going to be playing while the band's playing. You know, I just went for it. I went for it. A close friend of mine, he was already in it, and it made it a lot easier.
Okay. So your other adventures, so you do image consulting, you do a travel agency, and you do music. How in the world do you keep that work-life family? I mean, being a husband and a father, like how do you balance the scales?
Balance. Your family has to be all in. So when I'm playing football, that is my time, my football time. A strict schedule, being punctual, doing like just the small things in that. Like when I watched film, like I didn't like watching film at the facility,
Right.
because I knew it was taken away from my family time. Which when I go home and watch film, I'm watching it with my family, or I am like even when I was watching it wasn't watching it with my family, I would invite my teammates over. We would watch it there. My wife would be cooking. My son would be there. He's tuned in as well, and like that's how it was. But when it's time for music, it's time for music, and you can still relate it to with everything that you're doing. I rarely sleep. 3 to 5 hours of sleep every day. Sometimes I don't get any sleep. I've actually went to practice without any sleep.
My goodness.
And people were like, what? Like, how did you do it? I was celebrating my wife's birthday, and this was the first time she was in Canada.
Oh, wow.
And then, like, we went out, celebrated. A couple guys, like the supportive players, they came out too, but they left early because we had practice in the morning. I stayed, and I made sure my wife and her friends enjoyed the entire time of her life. I went back. I went back home, brushed my teeth, showered, went straight to practice.
Wow.
And they're like, but it's 5 o'clock in the morning when I'm going to it. Like my preparation is deep. And a couple of teammates like, man, how you gonna make it? I said, I got this. Like this is what I do. I'm used to it. You just programming yourself mentally. Like this is easy. When people say you can't do this because it affects it affects you like that, because your mental, you're already thinking that it's gonna hurt you.
Right.
So that's my whole mind frame. Like you can't sit here and tell me that this is gonna hurt me when you don't know my drive. I've been sick 3 times in my life. Twice with the flu, but I got flu shots. I said never again.
I know that's right.
And my first year in college,
right.
I had bronchitis, and I the coaches, they were like, you can still go, but with the health codes or whatnot at school, I had to sit home, but they still let me play in the game. I played 2 games with the flu, and then I played 1 with bronchitis.
Dang.
So I mean, it starts with your mental.
Right, absolutely. And I mean, and then it's the whole science behind the body at motion stays at motion. And
I tore my Achilles, and then 15 weeks later, I was dunking a basketball.
Wow.
So, the book says it takes 6 to 9 months for it to heal and recover, and then you're back to your normal self within 2 years of your surgery. That's just what a book is telling you.
Right.
I'm not gonna go for me.
Well,
I'm not going to tell. I'm not going to give advice.
The book
is it's a guideline. Yes, it is a guideline.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to tell a doctor to do how to do his job and stuff like that. The more experience he gets with that, with an injury like that and stuff like that, he has a better idea, because everyone's different. For me, I'm not giving advice for something I don't know about. So and I might be vague with it or whatnot, and people are like, well, I'm not going to waste my time if you are already in doubt. So that's why I'm vague with it.
Okay. I mean that's fair. I would say that's fair. So We don't have any commercials set up, so we're just going to go into the second half, because on this second half, I definitely really wanted to kind of delve more into the music side. You have your shirt on, and for everybody that's viewing, you can see the logo of Almighty All Stars Entertainment. Let's talk a little bit about that, but I still also want to talk about the travel and the image consulting. So start where you would like to start.
Oh, I mean, well, I'll start with the travel. It's
Okay.
it's pretty simple. Me and my wife, we have a travel business together, and it's called Leggett Travels. And right now, like my wife does all the booking.
Okay.
I don't want to do, people with uncertainty. It's either you're gonna book it or you're not.
Right.
Like, but there's also opportunities to have different streams of income with that as well. Over seven different streams.
Yes.
And when people waste money on a weekend, and it's like, well, why don't you do that to start your own business?
Yes.
Even if you don't, like, oh well, people, it's network marketing. It's network marketing, but everything we do is network marketing.
Absolutely.
You're doing it for McDonald's for free. You're doing it for Walmart. All these different platforms for free. Why not for yourself? Especially if you travel. Like I wasn't worried about the network marketing side. It was like, I get this travel business. I can travel and still get my tax write-offs.
Right.
And America is actually huge for travel businesses, with the tax write-offs.
Oh, I
and
did not know
everything
that.
So I'm
Interesting.
like, man, like I'll pay my fee. Like I go travel. Like me and my wife went on a cruise. Like my monthly overhead for the year, I get that back because me and my wife just went on a trip.
Wow.
And I get that back in commissions. That is like, that's a simple, like that's
a no-brainer.
like
Right?
that's a simple thing to do it like that, and I get a tax write-off.
Yeah.
And like for me, that's like very simple. Like it makes sense. Like I will not go out for a weekend. Okay, I'm gonna look into this business. Like how I'm gonna start this business. I want to learn this business. All right, it take me about 2 weeks to start a business.
Right.
And then it's like, all right, how much do I need? Like, what's the monthly overhead? What's the year? Like, can I take hits? Can I take losses? Like, who's supporting me? And that's it.
And you look, I'm sure you look at the business model, making sure it's a viable business and all that good stuff.
And you make the business.
That's
like
true.
you make the business. Like if you have a can of paint right now, especially with you make the business. How can you sell that can of paint?
That's true. That is absolutely true. So you also have an image consulting, and what is that? And that's for sports image consulting, people who are transitioning out.
It's not. I wouldn't say sports image consulting.
Okay.
I would say it's more of like for I can do like consulting for just people that don't play sports, but it's mainly for athletes where they're transitioning,
Right.
Young kids, student athlete training. So like I train kids, not just physically but mentally as well, and having a better understanding of the business side of it and stuff like that. I tell athletes all the time, you're gonna be here longer than these coaches.
Right.
Don't let these coaches talk to you any kind of way, because the same person signing their checks is the same person that's signing yours.
Smart.
A lot of coaches don't like that, but it's the
Sure.
truth.
Right.
You're both grown men, so there shouldn't be disrespect on it. And like people don't like them standing up to them. It's like, no, I'm not being disrespectful or anything like that. I'm telling you, like, we're both grown. We can handle this like adults.
Right.
Like if I have an issue with someone, I'm not blasting out there. I go into your office.
Right.
And like even if you blast me in public, I'm still go to your office. And then if you can't handle an office, then I just like, all right, now hold on, wait a minute. You showing out? You showing out? Because it's happened. It happened to
Okay.
me my last year.
Wow.
So I mean, and a couple of teammates that I actually care about and stuff like that, and they like a mutual respect thing. Like they're like, hey, like it's not worth it. So I just tell them like that, and then especially for like I've trained people that don't play sports.
Okay.
So we're having these conversations. they get an understanding about the actual business and stuff
Okay.
like that, of how contracts work. In Canada, they think we just make millions of dollars.
Okay.
Like, you're not a quarterback, you won't make $500,000.
Oh, wow.
Like, you're stuck around hovering around 100,000. Immigrants get taxed a lot more. You know, it's just how do you make your money up there?
Right.
You get it up front, and not in the back end.
Okay.
Especially as dirty as the football business is.
Oh wow. Okay. That's something I didn't. Of course, I wouldn't know that, but that's
And
definitely.
I teach another thing. If you got something on your mind, say it within the parameters of life.
Okay.
Don't go out here going crazy and calling people out their names or anything like that. If you have an opinion and it's your opinion, say it. Say it. But if someone has an issue with it, don't double back and apologize.
Right.
Like, I was getting death threats on Twitter.
No, because of what? Because of that.
Because of what I said, and I said it's my opinion.
Yeah,
like, it's my opinion. I lost 1,000 followers. I'm under 6,000 now.
Wow,
it's ridiculous. It's funny to me because it's like you wasn't a supporter in the first place,
right?
And then
yeah, because he just looked for some. Seemed like he was just kind of looking for something to. Get
it wasn't just
everybody
him.
on the-
It was it was just one of the radio stations hashtag come on like really.
Really.
Yeah, it's it's cute. It's cute. But I'm not worried about it at all.
Right.
They're not signing my checks.
Right.
They're not signing my checks. They never put a dime into my pocket.
Right.
Or anything like that. So I wasn't worried about it. And even if they did, and their reasoning behind it wasn't. They probably made more. They probably made more off of it. Than
It's just
I
an
did.
opinion. Like that's
Yeah,
like you
it's
said. You
an
spoke
opinion.
how you.
But one
felt
thing I'm
about
not
it.
is gonna double back and apologize.
Right.
Like even if I make a mistake or something like that, my wife know I'm gonna apologize for it. What I'm apologize for? Like I did it.
Right.
Like I'll correct. Like if it's wrong, I'll correct
Okay.
it. It won't happen again. Like, but what? Well, what is it, man? Men get caught cheating. Oh, I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry, baby. No, you sorry you got caught.
Right.
It's
Right.
like.
You have a pretty strong constitution, I would say, and I do like the fact that you are so vocal, and I mean you stand on your own 10 toes as far as what you believe in. You don't really get a lot of that nowadays. Like people are just all for the likes. So that is I believe that is definitely something that people can stand to learn from.
You tuck your tail even the slightest from where I'm from, you'll never be able to untuck it. You let somebody disrespect you the first time, it's going to continuously happen.
Wow.
So you got to cut it off.
So that's the consulting. We talked about the travel, and then you did briefly. Now you did something this weekend to help a friend with the training camp, and then you kind of was exploring opening your own. Was that just something you?
No,
were...
I'm not exploring. I have my own LLC.
Oh, you
with
you
it.
does
so
that.
that's
Okay.
part of the consulting.
Oh,
so that is
gotcha.
part of the
Okay.
consulting.
Okay.
It's because it was talking about the kids and stuff. The image consulting you're talking about that I've teamed up with
Miss
the
Chapman.
great
Okay.
Miss Linda Chapman, 8 to 14. Yeah, like
Okay.
that is it's more of a business entrepreneurial development
Gotcha.
company. So and that's just a one-stop shop. She's having an app kind of like Uber and stuff like that for all your needs. If you need your hair done within the next hour or so, there's an app that she's developing, and you can just like, all right, it's in my area, and you just click it, and then it's right there. Like 8 to 14, like if I ask, like for me, I'll just go to Linda and say, hey, I need XYZ. So I need, like, I got land right now, so I need house. I need a house built or something like that. Do you have a construction company within the network? So all it is a one-stop shop for networking, or somebody needs my services, and that's how it is.
Okay. Nice. So she's doing that, and she does the grants and all that good stuff.
She's big time. She's big time.
I heard, like, I was sitting next to someone at the conference, which, by the way, is where we met.
Billions of dollars.
Yeah, somebody said, like, she's the truth when it comes to that. So, yeah, that's awesome. So let's transition into the music. Almighty All Stars Entertainment. First of all, how did you come up with that name?
came up with the name Almighty. Came up like that name Almighty came from my college teammates when we were like at my house. I was coming home from work. They were talking about what their names would be if they were a wrestler.
Okay.
So my boys like, well, I'm the Czar. I'm the Prince. And, it was just, I was like, what? My roommate, he was over. I'm the Pharaoh, and I was just like, oh, I walk in from work, and they're like, it's late too. They're like, what would Leggett be? And he was like, Almighty and stuff like that.
Okay.
Like, man, he like running the campus and stuff. So I was just like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, that was me. I walk in and they're like, that's Almighty. The hell you talking about? Then everything just start running.
Wow.
It just, that name just started running. Like, my boys, Omega Psi Phi, they over there, like, every time they saw me, Almighty, what's up, man?
Okay.
And, I was like, wow, like, okay, this is going with it. So when I started my company, I kept that name because I kept in touch with a lot of the guys, especially my boys in Omega Psi Phi. And, like, I took that name, and then I was like, well, I always felt like I'm an all-star, but my music, my choice of music wasn't just one genre.
Okay.
It was everywhere. Like I'm an all-around star when it comes to music. That's how I felt. And that's like, I've studied music, like classical and stuff like that. People like, I did ballet.
Wow.
And stuff like that. And like me and my daughter to this day, we still listen to like the Nutcracker pieces and Sebastian Bach and all of that. So it's like I'm like all-star with this. We're not just for hip hop. We're not just for R&B. We could do country. Could do rock and stuff. I grew up. Me and my brother, we was listening to Bon Jovi.
Absolutely.
My brother had the star, like he had the star glasses over there with his guitar, and I had the microphone, and we were over screaming to the top of our lungs. We supposed to be in bed. We over here screaming to the top of our lungs with Bon Jovi. But my first words were Cool Mo D, Wild Wild West.
Yes.
That was my first words and stuff like
there.
that.
All right.
So that's how I got that name. Okay. And it just kept growing. It kept growing. Like there's like these execs like knew who I was before. Like, and I'm like, I haven't even put a track out. Like my company hasn't put a track out and stuff like that.
But you said because you actually.
Yeah, me either. Like I haven't put a track out.
You rap or you sing? You rap?
I'm not singing anymore.
Okay.
I haven't actually hit a real note since 2007. That was my last year in college.
Okay.
But no, like I was messing around in the studio one time, and I just checked in on my brother to see, like when I first started, I flew in like 10 artists. And they were in the studio the entire time. I set them up with hotels and rental cars and everything like that. I went and checked in, and I was like, I stayed in there for a little bit. I was like, I like this beat and stuff like that. Of course, we were drinking and stuff like that. I just went in there and freestyled, and they were like, what? Like, what? Man, get on the track with me and stuff like that. And then I sent it to my uncle. My uncle was like, man, you sound better than most of those. Wow. I was like, man, all right, but he's like, take it serious. You be out there, you got the voice for it and stuff like that. Shout out to Sam Sneed because I wouldn't have done it.
Wow. Now, is that I was on your bio, it was someone who talked to you and kind of gave you some good advice. Was that Sam Sneed? Sam Sneed,
that was him. That was him. He's from my neck of the woods and everything like that. And there's like for the older group, they know who it is, but he was in death row for these millennials that don't know any better. Okay. And the younger ones, he was in death row. He was a big time producer. This major song that everyone knows is "Recognized" with featuring Dr. Dre.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I remember. Okay, I do remember. And then the name definitely rung a bell, but I wasn't connecting the dots all the way. So tell me about your logo. Who designed that logo for you?
Oh, shout out to my old roommate, Jay West.
Shout out to Jay West.
Javaris Weston. He's still in the graphic design and photography and stuff like that. He's good with his work. He's out of Duval.
Okay.
He's out of Duval. and he actually played football with me. And Valdosta State is just deep, like with talent and stuff like that, especially at the skill position.
Okay.
He was playing running back, and he had a choice to make and stuff like that, and he wasn't, you know, he knew, you know, like that's just how it is. You know, guys, I'm not gonna say they were better, but like you got 2 All-American running backs in front of you, and then a possible third coming. It's gonna be frustrating. So he had to make a choice, and he's like, I don't want to play football anymore. And then after that semester, he transferred to FAMU and stuff to be close to his girlfriend at the time, and that's how. And he just went to school and continued to do it. And I got a logo. I was like, man, this is what I want. And like 2 A's and stuff like that with a lightning bolt in it. The first logo I sent, he's like, man, like someone tried to do my logo. I was like, I don't know. I was like, what you think? He said, man, delete that and don't ever put it out. Like, that's how it was. He's like, I got you, man, and stuff like that. I told him the concept, and he went with it. I was like, that's it right there.
Awesome. Yeah, I like it. It's really nice. Definitely, when you
it's
see
like
it.
the Almighty with the lightning bolt and stuff like that. Some people call, like, I ain't gonna look. Some of the ladies call me Zeus, but I mean,
and you know the poster that we have. That's what I thought of, like the triathlon or you know the Greek.
I did everything. I did swimming. I did basketball. I did football. I did track. I went to state for track, and I didn't even practice.
Wow.
So imagine if I actually practiced, I would probably won state.
Wow.
Because I ended up running. Like, I ran a trash time in high school. I never ran track before.
Wow.
And I ran it and went to state. So there was just different things. Like, I did everything. Like, if I can't do it, I've never done it. That was my motto.
Interesting.
I never tried it if I can't do it.
So let's talk about some of your highlighted artists. Do you have any artists that you're trying to push right now?
Right now, I'm pushing me.
Okay.
Right now, I'm pushing me. I do have our Buck City. You know, Buck City out there, he's doing his thing right now, and I love what he's doing. And we went to high school together, and he's a part of free bands, and it's just like he has his own portfolio. So I don't need to actually push him. He can push himself. But if he need me, like, you know, hey, Mo, I need this and this and this. I'm all right, bam, I'm on it. Let's do it. Vito Bam Bam, my brother, he's out there. I'm trying to get my cousin on board. Eventually, it's gonna happen. He had surgery on his voice box 1 year, and then like a couple years later, he went out and ended up getting stabbed, and his whole his intestines came out and everything in Pittsburgh.
Oh,
so
gee
Pittsburgh
whiz.
is wild. Pittsburgh is wild. So it's like, man, just, you know, handle your life. He has Legacy Avenue clothing line and stuff like that.
We're going to have to check that out, Legacy Avenue.
Legacy Avenue and stuff like that. Carucci got it. Yeah, Carucci's been wearing it. What's his name? Chevy, what is it? Chevy Woods? Chevy Woods and Taylor Gang. Chevy Woods out there. He got some big names wearing his, you know, his product and stuff like that. I just gave him some advice, and he's like, all right, thanks, and just kept moving.
Awesome. Now, yeah, that's big. So, like, is his product being seen like on Instagram and stuff like that?
Instagram is out, even on Facebook. Legacy Avenue. Okay.
And let's talk about really quick who's got that vibe. How did you end up being a judge on Who's Got That Vibe? Tell us
man, what's up, Carol? Carol actually, you know, I guess she saw me for the first time, and she was like, "Oh, he's so gorgeous," and had me on her. But me actually attending the event was because of Linda Chapman.
Okay.
And we're a family, so we support each other's cause, and it's a great way to network in the entertainment industry. And not just entertainment, you know, it's just any way someone can help, you need to go there. That's somewhere you needed to be, because you never know what someone has their hand in.
That's true.
Because, you know, everyone does more than just entertainment. I did more than football. And just me being up there, and I just told her what I did, and she was like, "Oh, all right, you want to be a judge and stuff like that?" And the first time She said I was great. I was nervous, as I don't know what. I was like, let me get a drink, because I don't know. I had the microphone like this. Well, so I'm just trying to get it all together. And, like, I still, like, for me, I'm still not comfortable being around the microphone, like, in the spotlight and stuff like that.
Well, you seemed like a natural. Like, the first time I saw you judge, I think that was the first time I came up there. You did really good. I would have never known.
Yeah, that takes a lot of practice.
Okay.
I've been having a microphone stuck in my face since high school. So that's since 2000, pretty much 2000, 2001. So, yeah, that's a long time.
Okay.
And I'm still, like, my heart racing, palms sweating. Y'all don't see me like this right now. I'm like, God, dog.
No, you're doing fine. Doing fine. Yeah, that's definitely a great venue. Tin and I were talking about that earlier, and we heard about the cancellation, or not the cancellation, the postpone. Everybody's having to postpone everything, unfortunately. So, but the next time it comes back, that will be for the finale, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Carol says she has some ideas that she wanted to talk to me about. So hopefully, Carol, I'm gonna call you tomorrow. I promise. Just got a lot on my plate right now, but yeah, it's very unfortunate that it had to be postponed.
Yeah. Yep.
I was looking forward to, like, Tuesday's my only day out.
I know.
Like, people get mad at me because I said I'm not gonna change the way I live or anything like that. People don't know how I live. I do not leave my house at all. Why do I? I have a computer. I have my phone. I can work from there.
Right.
Like, that is the best thing. Well, we're gonna send people home. All right. Well, now it's just my kids are at home. And my kids are getting older because I'm like, go watch Netflix or something. Leave me alone for, like, a couple hours or something like that.
Okay. And you're getting that mandatory quality time in now with the kiddos, but nothing wrong with that.
Shoot, like, for me, like, be into, like, have an interest of what your kids are doing. That's, like, my son plays Fortnite. Like, he plays it on his Xbox. I mean,
you play?
He asked me to play. I'm gonna play. Like, but like, I'm not good at it. I'm not good at it. And I can play with him. We even had it set up to where he's in the living room because he want to be on the big screen and stuff like that. I'm like, man, look, I've been up. I just went to sleep 2 hours ago, and you waking me up to play some Fortnite. All right, no, I brought one of the game systems in my room so I could play against him because I'm not getting out of bed. And then you got a 1-year-old jumping on you and stuff like that. I just give her the extra controller and make her seem like she's playing.
Exactly. That's how you do that. Now, you also are going to be with the Columbus Lions.
Yes.
So when is that all going to start? When is everything, well, with everything going on yet again, is that been postponed too?
Training camp has been postponed. We were supposed to report on the 29th and be postponed until further notice. But there will be a season.
Okay.
We've been notified that there will be a season. When is the question? And so we're just waiting. We have a group chat to where we can talk to each other, and we'll see. Waiting on the league and actually the government.
Okay. Well, we definitely in Columbus, we're looking forward to our Columbus Lions playing. So for those of you who are watching who are in the Columbus, Georgia area, Maurice Leggett is going to be on the Columbus Lions, so we look forward to having him visiting. Well, actually being a part of our city as a part of the Columbus Lions team, so that's going to be pretty exciting. And this is, how different is this going to be other than it being arena? Is it pretty much going to be the same as NFL, just kind of small, mini size?
Nothing's like the NFL.
Nothing's like the NFL.
It's like arena. Like, so last year was arena football. The pay, I'm not doing it for the pay.
Okay.
So I'm not doing it for the pay. The pay is not as much as I would like, but
it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay.
Arena is a fun game to play, and like for me, I love it, and it's just not a lot of fans in the stands. Like, it doesn't hold a lot of it. But the movements, the fan interaction is it's closer to the Canadian Football League.
Okay.
More than anything.
have they generated you a number yet? Because I was looking on the roster and I didn't see anything.
Hopefully I get my 31.
I thought somebody. I think somebody had 31 already. Though.
Nah, I don't
They're
know
gonna have
about
to give
that.
it up. You gonna make them give it up?
I mean, I ain't gonna. There's ways to do it. Like I
Okay.
had it the way I got my 31 up in Canada. I paid a man.
Did you really?
$9,000.
Wow.
Canadian though. That was,
Okay.
You wouldn't get 9,000 American from me. Tell you that right now.
Okay.
I had it and I was like this. And then I'm cheap. I'm frugal with it. I was like, man, I'll pay you in installments every other week. I'll give
No,
you
you did.
500.
No, you did not.
He
You had
knew
to
I
pay it
wasn't
off by
going
the end
anywhere.
of the season.
He my boy too. What up, T? I'll tell you right now. Like, because he had 30. He's like, man, I had it last year. That's my number. I can't do it. I can't live without that number.
Well,
I made
there's
the
a will.
number, man. Yeah. I got my number in the pros, and I didn't even have a name. I was just 3-1 for my rookie year in Kansas City.
Okay. So that was assigned to you, and you just wanted to keep.
Yeah,
that.
like
Okay.
when I got there, I thought I was gonna get cut.
Mm-hmm.
That was Priest Holmes, the legendary running back for Kansas City, and like for me, I didn't know any better or the business or anything like that. So I see that Priest Holmes signs back. I didn't know anything else. I didn't know he was signing just to retire. So when I go to rookie camp, they give me 31. I'm like, man, I'm gone already. Like, and then when he announced his retirement, that's when I was like, I had a sigh of relief,
Right.
a little bit, but.
That is awesome. Well, I'm so thankful that you came on the first show. It's been quite the adventure today, but thank you so much. I do want you to tell the audience how they can get in touch with you with your different businesses, because travel is definitely, in my opinion, going to pick up real good here pretty soon. So you definitely want to reach out to Maurice.
Yesterday, what was it? Yesterday morning or this morning? This morning. Days jumbled together. This morning I booked 2 trips.
Wow.
2 trips this morning for New Year's, actually.
Wow.
And I was like, man, look, I don't know how long this is going to last. Get travel protection, the plus, just in case. Then you can get all your money back.
Right.
Guess what? I booked me and my wife. Like,
I
we
know,
going
that's
to.
right.
We going to Cancun. It was
Might
like
as
1,
well.
2, 3 Cancun. Like, that's how it is.
Okay.
But you can reach me on Instagram or all social media, actually. Almighty31. My business, Almighty All Stars Entertainment, is Real Almighty ENT. And all the links are there for you.
Now, what if somebody wants to get, like, if somebody was looking for a label, are you there for that too? Like, can
I'm
they?
there. I'm trying to be bigger than Bad Boy. I'm
All
Rockefeller, all of that stuff like that. My artists, they crack jokes on me. They call it like I'm 50 J and Suge Knight in one.
Okay.
I'm like, man, don't do that to me and stuff like that. And they say when I get mad, I'm Bruce Banner.
Uh-oh.
I was like, man. But I'm always looking. It's just like sports. You're always looking for that new talent, that next hit.
So, do you scout at the Who's Got That Vibe?
I do.
Okay.
I've kept in contact with a couple artists there, and I'm not gonna name y'all because I'm not playing favorites.
Right. Okay.
But you know who you are. But,
Yeah.
just soft contact and stuff like that. I want them to work. They have to, like, you can act like you working. You know, it's the same as like for an athlete. I know how it is to, fake a full sprint. You can't. So I just want to, I'm dangling it there, and let me see if you can actually. Are you gonna really reach for it, or are you just saying you want it?
Right. Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much. And for those of you who are out there in internet land, thank you all so much for tuning in with us. And we hope to see you next Thursday. Next Thursday, we are going to be talking with Dave Tolliver. You going to come back and hang out with us when Dave comes?
Dave! I'm coming next week.
Yeah.
BYOB, baby.
So we're going to do it up over here in the 190 studios. That's what I call it. It's not really an official name yet. So, but y'all come hang out with us next Thursday, but also come hang out with us Tuesday we didn't have a show because we were going to be up in Atlanta, so we may go ahead and do an impromptu show on Tuesday for the radio podcast of Late Night Hype. Again, thank y'all so much. We're going to get on out of here, and y'all have a great night.
Peace and one
Peace
love.
out.